Have you ever pondered whether you still turn heads, even as the years have added wisdom to your gaze and experience to your heart? Society often equates beauty with youth, as if the moment a wrinkle appears, our glow begins to fade. But here's the truth. Real beauty is timeless. It doesn't diminish with age, it deepens. If you've ever doubted your attractiveness, it's time to shift your perspective. Being a good-looking older woman isn't about a smooth face or a perfect figure. It's about the way you carry yourself, the energy you exude, and the quiet confidence that speaks louder than any youthful glow ever could. So, let's explore the 5 undeniable signs that you're a beautiful older woman, even if you don't always see it yourself. 1. You have a presence that turns heads without trying. There is something undeniably captivating about a woman who has lived. She doesn't seek attention, yet the moment she enters a room, people notice. It's not about what she's wearing or how perfectly styled her hair is, it's about the quiet energy she carries, a presence that speaks of experience, of wisdom, of a life deeply and fully embraced. She moves through the world with an unspoken confidence, not because she demands space, but because she simply knows she belongs. There's no frantic rush in her steps, no desperate need to prove herself. She has nothing to prove and no one to impress, and that is precisely what makes her so magnetic. She doesn't shrink to make others comfortable, nor does she attempt to outshine anyone. Instead, she exists in a state of effortless authenticity, fully herself, unapologetically whole. This presence is not something that can be imitated, nor is it something that can be taught. It is cultivated through years of experience, through moments of struggle and triumph, through heartbreaks that have deepened her soul and joys that have illuminated her spirit. It is the kind of beauty that cannot be measured in youthful features or flawless skin. It is the beauty of a woman who has faced life, its hardships, its uncertainties, its unexpected turns, and has emerged not just unbroken, but stronger, wiser, and more at peace than ever before. When she walks, she does not rush. When she speaks, people listen, not because she raises her voice, but because she speaks with intention, with weight, with a certainty that comes only from knowing who she is. She doesn't fill silences with nervous chatter. She doesn't adjust her posture to seek approval. She doesn't ask for permission to exist. And that, more than anything, is what makes her beautiful. It is not the way she looks, but the way she carries herself. It is not the years she has lived, but the way she has lived them. There is a radiance in a woman who knows her worth, one that doesn't fade, but only grows stronger with time. 2. Your face tells a story, and it's a beautiful one. Your face is not just a reflection in the mirror. It is a map of your life, a collection of moments, emotions, and experiences that have shaped you into the woman you are today. Every line, every crease, every gentle softening of time is not a flaw, but a mark of a life fully lived. They are the evidence of laughter that once shook your shoulders, of love that filled your heart so deeply it left an imprint, of sorrow that tested your strength but never broke you. There was a time when you may have scrutinized your reflection, searching for signs of youth, as if beauty was something that could slip away like sand through your fingers. But now you see differently. You understand that beauty is not found in the absence of lines, but in the depth of the stories they tell. The fine creases near your eyes are not signs of age. They are the remnants of every smile, every moment of joy that left its gentle mark. The soft folds near your mouth are not something to erase. They are the echoes of words spoken with love, of wisdom shared, of the countless times you have reassured, comforted, and encouraged those around you. Your face is proof that you have lived, that you have loved, that you have given yourself to this world in ways that matter. There is no greater beauty than a woman whose face tells the truth of who she is. A woman who no longer seeks to turn back time, but instead embraces the evolution of her own reflection. A woman who wears her years not as a burden, but as a crown. And when you smile, truly smile, the world sees not just a face, but a soul that has weathered storms and still chooses joy. It sees resilience, grace, and a quiet power that cannot be fabricated. No amount of youth could ever replace the kind of beauty that comes from a life well lived. You do not need to chase what you once were. The woman you are today, in all your wisdom and depth, is more breathtaking than you have ever been. 3. Your confidence is unshakable. Confidence is not something you are given. It is something you earn. It is not about arrogance or seeking validation, nor is it the loud, attention-seeking kind that demands to be noticed. True confidence is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It is the kind that comes from knowing who you are, understanding your worth, and no longer feeling the need to prove yourself to anyone. There was a time when you might have questioned yourself, when you sought approval in the eyes of others, measuring your value by their acceptance. But those days are long gone. You no longer shrink yourself to fit expectations that were never meant for you. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself, justify your choices, or mold your personality to make others comfortable. You have walked through enough experiences to understand that your worth is not something to be debated. It is something that simply is. When you speak, you do so with intention not to impress, but because your words carry weight. When you enter a room, you do not feel the need to fill the silence with nervous chatter because you have learned that presence is more powerful than noise. You do not need to be the center of attention to be significant. Your presence alone is enough. You have grown into a woman who sets boundaries without guilt, who prioritizes her well-being without apology. You do not ask for permission to take up space, to be seen, or to have a voice. You do not measure your beauty by youth or your success by external validation. You have outgrown comparison, outgrown insecurity, outgrown the need to be anything other than who you are. And because of that, people are drawn to you in ways they cannot always explain. They feel it in the way you carry yourself, in the way you look them in the eye, in the way you embrace life without hesitation. There is nothing more beautiful than a woman who has made peace with herself. No fleeting compliment, no passing trend, no outside opinion can shake what you already know to be true. You are not only enough, you are extraordinary. 4. You radiate warmth, kindness, and wisdom. There is a beauty that cannot be defined by age, nor captured in a photograph. It is not found in flawless skin or the symmetry of features, but in the way a woman makes others feel. You have walked through seasons of life that have shaped you, softened you, strengthened you. And because of that, you carry an aura of warmth that draws people in, not because you try to, but because it is simply who you are. Your kindness is not naive, nor is it given out of obligation. It is the kindness of a woman who has seen life in all its complexity, who understands that everyone carries burdens, and who chooses to respond with grace rather than judgment. You have learned that strength is not in harshness, but in the ability to offer understanding even when it is not returned. Your presence is comforting, not because you have all the answers, but because you listen with a heart that truly hears. Wisdom does not come from books alone. It comes from experience, from heartbreak, from triumphs, from standing back up after life has knocked you down. It is the quiet knowing that time is precious, that not every battle is worth fighting, that peace is often more valuable than being right. It is in the way you no longer waste energy on things that drain you, the way you choose your words with care, the way you have learned to embrace change rather than fear it. And that wisdom paired with your warmth is what makes you radiant. It is why people feel safe in your presence, why they seek your advice, why they trust your silence just as much as your words. It is the light in your eyes that does not come from youth, but from a life fully lived. A woman who radiates warmth, kindness, and wisdom is unforgettable, not because she demands attention, but because her presence lingers in the hearts of those she touches. She does not try to be beautiful, she simply is, and that more than anything is the kind of beauty that only deepens with time. 5. You've stopped trying to fit in and started owning who you are. There was a time when you adjusted yourself to fit the expectations of others, when you carefully measured your words, your choices, even the way you carried yourself to ensure that you belonged. You worried about saying the right things, wearing the right clothes, being the version of yourself that was easiest for the world to accept. But that time is behind you. You no longer seek approval because you have realized that the only validation that truly matters is your own. You have spent years shaping yourself, not to fit into a mold, but to become the fullest, most authentic version of who you were meant to be. You no longer dress to impress, but to express. You no longer hesitate to speak your truth, not because you need to be heard, but because you deserve to be understood. You no longer make yourself small so that others feel more comfortable in your presence. There is a power in this freedom. It is the power of a woman who has shed the weight of comparison, who has stopped looking sideways to measure her worth against others. You do not envy the youth of another because you have something far more valuable, depth, wisdom, a sense of self that cannot be shaken. You do not chase trends because you have already found what makes you feel beautiful, what makes you feel at home in your own skin. Owning who you are is not about perfection. It is about acceptance. You have embraced your past, your imperfections, your journey, knowing that each chapter has shaped you in ways that make you irreplaceable. You do not apologize for the space you take up in this world, for your opinions, for your presence. You no longer ask for permission to exist fully. You simply do. And that is what makes you radiant. There is something breathtaking about a woman who has stopped trying to fit in, who walks through life with quiet certainty, who no longer waits for the world to tell her she is enough. Because she already knows. And when you reach that point, when you own yourself unapologetically, without hesitation or doubt, you become the kind of woman people admire, not because you are trying to be seen, but because you have finally seen yourself. Embracing the beauty that has always been yours. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she realizes that beauty was never something she needed to chase. It was never something she needed to earn or prove. It was never defined by the approval of others or measured by how closely she fit into society's fleeting standards. It was hers all along. You have spent decades learning, growing, and becoming. The woman you are today is not a product of luck or circumstance, but of every choice you have made, every challenge you have overcome, and every truth you have embraced along the way. The world may try to tell you that beauty belongs to the young, but you know better. You know that beauty is not something that fades. It is something that transforms, something that deepens, something that becomes more powerful as time shapes it. You no longer stand in front of the mirror searching for who you used to be. You do not mourn the passing of years, nor do you long to turn back time. You have no interest in being the woman you once were because the woman you have become is far more extraordinary. You carry the wisdom of experience, the grace of understanding, the quiet confidence of someone who no longer needs to be validated to know her worth. And that is what makes you stunning. You have stopped apologizing for who you are. You have stopped seeking permission to take up space, to have a voice, to be seen. You have stepped into yourself fully, embracing the lines that tell your story, the presence that commands attention without effort, the warmth that draws people in, not because you demand it, but because you radiate something real. There is no comparison between the beauty of youth and the beauty of a woman who has lived. One is fleeting, delicate, easily lost. The other is unshakable, undeniable, impossible to ignore. You are not just beautiful because of how you look. You are beautiful because of how you live, how you love, how you carry yourself with the kind of ease that can only come from knowing exactly who you are. So walk with your head high, speak with certainty, smile without hesitation. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. Do not shrink yourself to fit into spaces too small for you. Do not question for one more moment whether you are beautiful. You always have been. You always will be. And as the years pass, you will only continue to become more so. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.